All right, so now staying in the NFL, we got the Week 10 recap. We just talked about what we seen last night in that atrocity, that beat down by the San Francisco 49ers over the Los Angeles Rams. So with that said, Jay, what else stuck out in the Week 10 action for you?
And I'm gonna tell you, I thought we had a great matchup, at least on paper, in at Lambeau with Seattle coming to town to take on Green Bay. Those Russell Wilson Aaron Rodgers matchups normally are pretty special. You had Russell Wilson coming off IR. You had Aaron Rodgers coming off the COVID list. You had that happening, as we recall. Um, there was a defensive battle. We know that because Seattle did not score. Uh, something stood out to me about. I saw a headline about Pete Carroll. Pete Carroll out here crying about the officiating. He said the officials played a huge part in Seattle's loss. There was like 3 calls that he want to cry about. I don't want to hear. I don't want to hear it. I hope he gets fined for this crap. I really do. Your team scored 0 points. The officials didn't beat you, Pete Carroll. Green Bay did, and I just find it inexcusable that in Russell Wilson's return, and I get it. Maybe Russell Wilson deserves a pass for the first game back off whatever injury, and Green Bay's defense. I think they playing extremely well right now, but 0 points. I just Why are you talking about the officials? I don't want to hear it. Get your team together. Get the offensive coordinator in a room and ask him some questions about what the hell they're doing out there. Because I know you probably don't know because you're a defensive guy. So I get it. But look, you mean to tell me that Russell Wilson, DK Metcalf, and Tyler Lockett, and the rest of them, because I mean that's your big three, y'all can't figure this out and do anything? Oh, I get the 3 missed calls. That's why you didn't score at any point. No, I'm not buying it. I'm getting really tired. I'm getting really tired of the Seahawks in general. I think they're about overrated. I think Pete Carroll been riding the Super Bowl for like, what is it? He been riding the Super Bowl for 8 years now. And
Right,
it's just
right,
getting to a point where,
right.
look, we talked about Sean McVay and Shanahan. Shanahan's a little down right now overall. But now you got Cliffbury out here. You got 2 teams in the Rams and Cardinals who are clearly better than Seattle at this point. Russell
Right.
Wilson, to me, he can't compensate for the rest of this just mediocre program that they're running. I think that might be what we're seeing at this point, and that's why I'm over Pete Carroll and John Schneider. Do better.
One question for you: do you think Russell Wilson is gone after the season?
That's a good one. I haven't given that much thought, but you know what? I wouldn't blame him. I wouldn't blame him for I wouldn't blame him for leaving. I mean, what help if besides getting DK Metcalf and Lockett's developed into a really good wide receiver. I love that chemistry that they have with the deep shots that they can do. I love it. But
Right.
outside of that, ask yourself, what have they really done for him from an offensive standpoint? They ain't never, I mean, they traded for Dwayne Brown at one point, but he was old at that time. He's older now. I don't know how long he gonna play. I just look at the rest of their team. They don't seem to prioritize, and they never have. They don't seem to prioritize assisting Russell Wilson and making his life a little bit easier. And that's why I have a problem. And that's why I wouldn't mind if Russell Wilson leaves. Because what have they done for him to like make him want to stay? Like, are you gonna do something to like make me better back here? And are you gonna prioritize? What about this? As he ages, are they gonna prioritize protecting him then? These are the type of questions I would be asking the front office and the coaching staff, like, because this is not good enough. Um, I'll keep the rest of this pretty quick because I know I took a lot of time on Pete Carroll for no reason. As Seattle falls to 3-6 and they're just whittling away at this point. The Chiefs winning 41-14. We've been waiting for Kansas City to get their act together. So thank you for getting. Remember the Raiders, and they like won a game with the special teams coordinator coaching after the
Right.
emails and all this,
Right.
and like so. I'm glad to
All
see
right.
that get them out of here because I don't think they're serious, and they always do this thing where they win a couple games at the beginning of the year, like, oh, here they come. Nope, there they go, back of the line. And then I thought Look, the Vikings beating the Chargers stood out to me as a game I thought Minnesota would win. Look, I give Arizona crap for their piss poor run defense. Well, they're not the only one, because the Chargers can't stop the run either, and that's why I think both the Chargers and the Cardinals, who got blown out by Carolina, let's not forget that. That was somewhat shocking. But Christian McCaffrey in there doing what he's doing. Cam Newton, Carolina surprised me. They had him active. They didn't, but they had a little package for him. Had some goal line action. He scores 2 touchdowns. I like that. I didn't think it was fair to start him, but I think that was a good compromise that they made. I didn't see it coming, but I did like what they did. And like Arizona, I mean, we giving the Rams crap for getting blown out by, in some ways, an inferior team. Carolina been lost. Well, they lost 5 or 6 as well, and they come in there and just lay the screws to Arizona. That's what stood out to me as we continually see just wacky results in the NFL the past couple weeks.
Now, I will say, in the Cardinals' defense, right? Listen, I'm not that run defense is undefensible, but the Panthers did get their best player back, and then that package with Cam Newton probably caught the Cardinals by surprise because we didn't think he was going to suit up, so they probably wasn't prepared for that. Kudos to Matt Rule and being smart enough to come with the thinking man's game.
Joe Brady,
Matt Rule. Joe Brady definitely deserves credit for that. And Christian McCaffrey came back, so I give him but they do need to fix that defense. I want to talk about 3 games. The first of which, listen, do you know 5 rookies got taken in last year's draft, right? You guess how many of those rookies have a QBR over 100 at least one time this season?
Are you speaking of the rookie quarterbacks this year?
Yes, the 5 that got taken in last year's draft.
Oh, you got to be going to Mac Jones.
Okay, but how many of those 5? You talking
about him, Justin Fields, Lawrence, Zach Wilson, and Trey Lance? It's got to be just Mac Jones. Just Mac Jones.
Just Mac Jones. Mac Jones has had a QBR over 100 5 times this season.
You talking about quarterback rating? I would guess, right?
Yeah, QB. And that what QBR is?
They're two separate things. The QBR I reference is on a scale of 0 to 100. The quarterback rating is like 158.3 is where it maxes out.
Okay, so
they're a little bit different.
Okay, yeah. So I'm talking about the first one.
But I'm still going just Mac Jones.
And you're right. Mac Jones, we using just a normal QBR 0 to 100. Mac Jones have went over. He has met that criteria 5 times. The other 4 quarterbacks, that's what they got together as a collective. That's what they got. So for people that like to say, well, Mac Jones is just a product of Alabama. He's just a product of the talent around him. This, that, and the third. Just remember this: Mac Jones was the 370 something odd recruit in the nation, 3-star recruit, and you got all these 5-star. Trevor Lawrence just got handed. He got handed the NFL shield. Hey, go ahead, Trevor Lawrence. You the best thing. I think you invented sliced bread. You just a genius. So just keep that in mind. But neither here nor there. I just wanted to give a little, love to my guy Mac Jones. Here's the deal. I don't know what the hell going on with the Cleveland Browns, but this is the second week in a row they didn't got the young smoke check, and I don't know what the excuse is. It was like we talked about this before the show. It was Freddie Kitchens, then it was the lack of talent, then it was Odell don't like Baker, and then it's like, hey, the offensive line just letting them die, and we ain't got enough talent on the defense, and it was excuse after excuse after excuse after excuse. For the first time, I could probably say that in the last I don't know how long I can remember, I can say this is not the Cleveland Browns' fault. If they're at fault, it's because they drafted the wrong quarterback at number 1 when they drafted Baker Mayfield. That's the only thing listen. As much as I like to dump on Cleveland, and then I like to dump on Cleveland,
I do too.
They have done everything they needed to do for Baker Mayfield to be a success. You cannot look at this team and say, hey, listen, just 2 years ago, we were saying, listen, give that man some protection on the offensive line. They went and fixed that.
Yeah.
Man, he need a run game. They went and fixed that.
Yeah.
Man, give him some targets to throw to. They went and got Austin Hooper. Like, they paired him with Njoku. Oh, we got Jarvis Landry out there. We got Rashad Higgins. Oh, we still had Odell Beckham, but I'm gonna put him to the side right now. And
I think the best way to put it is like with quality quarterback play, this team should be able to win at a high level.
At a high level. And then we even said, we don't know about this head coach. This dude, oh no, man, to your credit, absolutely right.
No doubt, yes.
Absolutely right. And then they went out and got a coach, Kevin Stefanski. Mm-hmm. And everything I've seen thus far tells me that this guy know what he's doing. I haven't seen nothing that makes me think he don't know what he's doing. Unless he's deficient in the quarterback development department. Maybe you can get me on that. But everything else I've seen tells me he know what he's doing. So with that said, what the hell is the problem? What is going on? Why haven't we figured this out? Is what I'm trying to figure out. What's going on in Cleveland? And it seems all roads point back to Baker Mayfield. So I just want to say, contract year, I think this is the year they figure out if they want to keep him around or not. He might be out of there. The second game I want to talk about is the Washington football team against the Tampa Bay Bucks. Now, I told you when this game happened, I said the football team gave the Bucks a hard time in the playoffs last year. That was their toughest game in the playoffs. Yep. And you to your point, I did kind of agree with you. Like, this ain't the playoffs from last year. This ain't the defense from last year. This ain't the team from last year.
This was shocking. This was shocking.
Like I say, I don't know. I know Tom Brady played all them years in New England, and I know he know about the cold weather. But I don't know. The rest of the team was kind of like, hey, we're a little too far up north. What we doing? We need to get back down to the Sunshine State. Yeah, they was lethargic, man. They was lethargic. They came in there pretty lackluster, if I say so myself, and they got kind of manhandled in this game. But Tyler Heineke and crew. I don't know what that was about. Listen, these top tier teams that we consider top tier, they're allowed to have hiccups. They're not gonna come in with their A game every week. So I'm not gonna sit here and be like. But just like if we're going to give the Rams a hard time and then the Cardinals a hard time, we got to be fair about the Bucks too. Like, this ain't elite product we seeing out here. Like I said, you probably don't do it every week, but we need you to, come on, man. Y'all looking shaky out here, Tampa Bay. You brought back all 22. What's the problem? What is the problem? We got to get that together. You got the same offensive coaches. You got the same defensive coaches. You literally didn't lose anybody. We got to figure that out. Third game I want to hit on. Fly, Eagle, fly! Philadelphia Eagles and Denver Broncos. Here's the deal. We seen the Broncos come out here and lay what they call in the wrestling world the smack of down on the Cowboys last week. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then we roll around to this past weekend, and the Eagles. Listen. I mean, the Eagles almost won me some money. Some serious money here because some told me to take the Eagles. I took the Eagles. It's something about this team. I don't know. They're very inconsistent, so you just never know what you're going to get out of this team. But when they play. Think about this. They have put up some pretty remarkable blowouts this year, and they done lost to a lot of teams they shouldn't have lose to. But listen, when they play, they put up some points. You can't deny that. They put up some points. As Detroit, as Atlanta. Yeah, I know those are not good teams, but the Broncos, you wouldn't consider the Broncos a bottom feeder, and you might not consider them elite. The Broncos right in the middle. This is a good win for Philadelphia. I'm telling Eagles fans right now, this is a good win because the Broncos they're not the Falcons or the Lions. They're not in that category. So for them to go and take care of business in Denver. Look the part. Listen, man, I don't know what it is about their consistency, but they need to fix that. They need to play more like this more often. I really like what I seen out the Eagles. I hope they keep that going. But I was surprised with the Broncos, man. I just watched them. Once again, we talk about the elite teams in the NFC. We're going to keep bringing this up. The Cowboys is one of those teams. And I mean, they smoked them. Smoked them. It was not close. I'm sitting in the arena like, wait, what?
It's
Did Dak Prescott play?
30 to nothing at one point.
Did Zeke play? Did CeeDee Lamb play? Like, I'm looking like, who didn't play?
Everybody
They all
was
played.
there. Yeah.
And they rolled them over, and then the Eagles came back. So maybe that's when we say any given Sunday. That's probably the part we mean by any given Sunday. You just don't know what's going to happen. Is very much a surprise from week to week. But those are the 3 games I seen in Week 10 that really caught my eyes, and the results that caught my eyes.
Got to make that tackle, Bridgewater. You're not that valuable. Make that tackle.